EduVerse PD podcast, brought to you by ProEd Education Solutions, your on-the-go professional development. Welcome to the EduVerse PD podcast, where we explore ideas shaping the future of education. In today's episode, we're delving into one of the most transformative conversations of our time, AI and human harmony. Our dynamic AI co-hosts, Andy and Liz, will unpack one of the most thought-provoking interview in EduVerse Newsletter, Teaching and Learning in the Age of AI, Critical Minds, Smart Tech. This insightful interview was done with Dr. Joseph Rene Corbeil and Dr. Maria Elena Corbeil, featured in EduVerse Newsletter, Issue 21, the special edition AI and Us, the New Harmony in Education, exploring how educators can balance human creativity and critical thinking with the power of AI. So, let's tune in and join Andy and Liz as they unpack what this new harmony really means for teachers and learners in the age of AI.
Welcome to this part of our EduVerse PD podcast series. I'm Andy.
I'm Liz. It's great to be here.
Today, we're jumping into a really timely resource. It feels like everyone's trying to figure out AI in education.
Absolutely. We're looking at insights from Professors Maria Elena Corbeil and Joseph Rene Corbeil. They're from the University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley.
Right, and they co-edited this book, Teaching and Learning in the Age of Generative AI. Came out just this past April.
Yeah, and it's subtitled Evidence-Based Approaches to Pedagogy, Ethics, and Beyond. So very practical focus.
Our mission here, as always, is to really cut through the noise for you. We want to pull out the actionable stuff, the high-value knowledge you can use, especially if you need to integrate AI thoughtfully, like right now.
And the core theme here is harmony. How can this tech boost teaching and learning, not replace the human side?
Okay, so where do we start? The origin of this book sounds pretty dramatic.
Oh, it really was. Professor Rene Corbeil mentioned it wasn't some academic exercise initially. It was a response to, well, a crisis.
A crisis? Tell me more.
Okay, picture this. It's just before the spring 2023 semester. An email goes out.
Yeah.
The subject line basically screamed panic, emergency meeting to discuss ChatGPT concern.
Wow. Okay, so that tells you everything.
Yeah.
Instant anxiety.
Exactly. Suddenly, faculty admins are asking these huge questions. Should we just ban it? How do we stop cheating? It was pure reaction.
And that's the gap the Corbeil saw, right? All this panic, but no real productive guidance, just focusing on the risks.
Precisely. The conversation was stuck on policing the tool. How do we catch students using it, not how do we teach with it?
So the book was born to shift that conversation, from fear to pedagogy.
That's the goal, providing a framework to actually use AI effectively.
All right, let's get into their first big idea. This conceptual shift from seeing AI as just a shortcut to viewing it as a reasoning partner. For me, this is where things get really interesting.
It totally flips the script. They reference Professors Young and Hu here. The core idea isn't just using AI to spit out an answer.
Right.
It's about using AI to help students genuinely think better.
Okay, but how does that work practically? If a student just asks ChatGPT for the answer, isn't that the opposite of thinking?
Well, it changes how you ask. The prompts become more sophisticated.
For example.
Instead of, what caused the French Revolution, you might ask the AI, okay, present 3 competing theories for the causes, and for each one, detail the step-by-step logic and the evidence.
Ah, I see. So you're making the AI show its work, basically. It's a reasoning process.
Exactly. The AI models complex reasoning, and the student's job shifts from just getting the answer to analyzing that reasoning. How sound is it? What are the assumptions?
That forces a much more reflective interaction, responsible use almost.
Yeah, and this connects directly to Professor Maria Elena Corbeil's point about shifting from remediation,
Fixing weaknesses.
right, the traditional deficit model, to what she calls strength-based learning.
Okay, tell me about that.
Because AI assistants can adapt instantly, they can be tuned to build on what students already do well, focus on their capabilities, build their confidence, nurture creativity.
Instead of just plugging gaps, that's a really powerful idea. AI amplifying strengths, not just fixing weaknesses, but scaling this. I mean, moving beyond a few enthusiastic teachers. How does a whole school or university do this without it becoming total chaos? needs structure, right?
Absolutely. And that's where the practical roadmap comes in. They highlight Letitia de Leon's nested framework for implementation.
Nested framework, okay.
It's designed to make AI integration smoother, more sustainable, because it tackles adaptation at all levels of the institution at the same time.
Makes sense. Let's break it down. Start big picture.
Okay.
The macro level, what happens there?
Macro is the institutional view. Think leadership setting a clear shared vision for AI. It means actually redesigning curriculum, maybe even core competencies, to bake in AI literacy.
Okay.
And critically, it involves deploying adaptive learning systems thoughtfully to make sure we're addressing equity, not making gaps wider.
That sounds like a huge undertaking. Top-down vision. But what about the faculty, the departments? The meso level, that's often where new initiatives hit resistance, right? The not invented here syndrome or concerns about academic freedom.
That's a really important point, and the framework addresses it directly. The meso level is about finding that balance.
How so?
It focuses on departments defining ethical practices that make sense for their specific fields. Protecting academic freedom is key. Ensuring educators feel they're still in control, that AI assists their teaching, it doesn't dictate it.
So empowering faculty, not just mandating tools, giving them space to experiment.
Exactly, and share what works within their own communities of practice.
Right. Macro, meso. Brings us down to the micro level, the classroom.
This is the front line, where teachers are using AI tools day to day.
Fun things like
personalizing learning paths for individual students, differentiating instruction, creating really engaging simulations and maybe historical role-playing, or acting as a personalized tutor. But across all these levels, macro, meso, micro de Leon's key advice is be intentional. Don't just throw tech at the wall. Start small. Pilot projects. Learn. Then scale thoughtfully.
Okay, intentionality is key. And scaling up means teachers need new skills. Professor Maria Elena Corbeil singles one out as essential.
Yes. AI literacy. And she's clear, this is way more than just knowing how to write a good prompt.
So what is it then?
It's about developing metacognition around AI output, knowing when to trust what the AI gives you, when you need to heavily revise it, or, frankly, when to just reject it outright.
So critical judgment about the tool itself, not just using it, but evaluating it constantly.
It demands real intellectual engagement, not just, automating tasks blindly.
And that engagement leads us straight into rethinking assessment. If AI can write a decent essay.
Yeah, the game changes.
Jason Gooley has a fascinating take here. He suggests chatbots should actually make students more skeptical. He even talks about students building their own metabots. What's that about?
It sounds techie, but it's actually a smart teaching strategy. A metabot isn't about complex coding for the student. It's about creating a constrained AI.
Constrained how?
The student becomes the architect. They set the rules. Like, okay, this chatbot can only argue about climate change using data from before 2020. Or this bot must adopt a purely Marxist perspective.
Okay. So by making the student define the AI's limits, its biases, its data sources, they learn how information gets structured and created in the first place.
Precisely. It transforms using AI from just fetching info into a lesson in critical thinking about information itself.
That's brilliant, turning the tool back on itself.
And Ledin-Kwok builds on this, advocating for AI-powered simulations and group projects where students have to question assumptions, spot logical fallacies, collaborate on inquiry in real time.
So assessment becomes more dynamic, less about static products AI can easily generate.
Exactly. Clive Forrester hammers this point home. Rethinking cheating means moving away from those traditional vulnerable assessments like the standard take-home essay. Towards more diverse methods, think portfolios showcasing growth over time, live presentations, complex simulations, things that require real-time human judgment and interaction that AI struggles to replicate authentically.
Okay, so this brings us back to that idea of harmony. It's about a clear division of labor between the human and the AI. Professor Rene Corbeil maps this out.
Yeah, he provides a really useful distinction.
What's the line? What does AI do best? And what must the human teacher hold on to?
AI is great at analyzing vast amounts of student data to spot patterns. It can streamline repetitive tasks, grading multiple choice, delivering basic content, and it excels at that continuous personalization we talked about.
Okay, so it handles the logistics, the data crunching, the basic delivery.
Right, which frees up the human educator to focus on the truly irreplaceable stuff.
Which is?
Building those deep personal relationships with students, exercising professional judgment, especially in complex, ambiguous situations, and crucially, creating those safe, supported spaces for social, emotional, and deeper cognitive learning, the human touch.
And part of that harmony, Elena Corbeil and Badril H. Khan point out, is knowing AI's limits. It's not magic.
Not at all. AI really struggles with genuine complexity, human intuition, reading emotional cues, navigating shades of gray.
Those human moments, as they call them.
Exactly. When a student's struggling not just with the math problem, but with motivation or anxiety or something going on at home, that's where the teacher's empathy and insight make the real difference. AI supports the learning structure. The human supports the learner.
So to help keep the student central in this whole process, there's a practical tool highlighted. The Human HAIH framework from the Washington Office of Superintendent of Public Instruction.
Yeah, it's a great simple model. Let's walk through it quickly.
Okay. 3 phases. Let's use, say, a science project.
Perfect. Phase 1 is human inquiry. It starts with the student's own genuine curiosity. Maybe a student wonders, how do vaccines actually work on a cellular level?
Okay, student-driven question first, then.
Phase 2, AI augmentation. The student uses AI as an exploration tool. They might ask it to explain different immune responses, find animations, maybe even simulate antibody production. They gather possibilities.
Got it. Exploring with AI. And the final phase?
Human reflection. This is critical. The student takes all that AI-generated information, analyzes it, synthesizes it, maybe compares different AI explanations, decides what makes sense based on their own understanding, and takes ownership. They build their explanation or project.
So the loop always closes back on the human learner. They're using AI to think with, not think for them.
Exactly. It keeps the student firmly in the driver's seat.
But we can't ignore the ethical side. Walczak and Celery raise flags about bias and AI, disinformation, privacy risks.
Definitely risks we need to address head on. And Professor Rene Corbeil has some really wise advice here.
Which is?
Don't panic or punish when students misuse AI or run into biased output. Instead, use those instances as teachable moments.
Lean into the difficulty.
Yes. Approach it with curiosity and compassion. We're all figuring this out together. It requires ongoing open dialogue with students about expectations, limitations, and responsible use.
And Professor Maria Elena Corbeil adds that educators must model this ethical use themselves, right?
Absolutely. Be transparent. Say, I used AI to help draft this assignment prompt. Or, let's look at this AI summary together and check it for potential bias. Help students ask those critical questions. Who made this AI? What data trained it? What are its blind spots?
That modeling is crucial. We also have to touch on the legal side, briefly. Garcia and Watkins mentioned the tangle around fair use and copyright.
Yeah, it's getting really complex. When AI models are trained on unimaginably huge data sets, often scraped from the internet, the lines of ownership and fair use get blurry fast.
So schools need clear, informed policies.
They do. Policies that recognize AI's potential benefits, but also navigate these tricky legal and ethical waters carefully. It requires ongoing attention.
So ultimately, all this work, the frameworks, the skills, the ethical dialogue, it's about preparing students for the world they're entering. Jaspreet Bindra stresses integrating AI literacy into higher ed now.
It's essential. Closing that gap between what universities teach and what the AI-powered workforce actually demands.
And this connects to lifelong learning too, doesn't it? Tufan and Öztürk suggest AI tools can help build those habits.
For sure. Tools that offer instant feedback, curate personalized learning paths. They help students develop the skills and motivation for continuous self-directed growth long after they leave formal education.
So school becomes the launch pad, and AI can be a partner in learning forever.
That's the potential, yeah, a personalized development tool.
Okay, as we bring this deep dive to a close, what's the final piece of advice? Professor Maria Elena Corbeil had a direct message for educators feeling overwhelmed by all this.
She did, and it's perhaps the most important takeaway. Her advice is simple, really. Just try it.
Just stop.
Yeah. We're all learning this together. Start small, stay curious, and lean on your community. Don't feel you have to be an expert overnight. Experiment. Share. Support each other.
That's great practical advice. Permission to learn as you go. Okay, so let's quickly recap the key takeaways for you, the listener, from the Corbeil's work.
1. Think of AI as a reasoning partner to boost critical thinking, not just an answer machine.
2. Use AI to enable strength-based learning, focusing on student capabilities.
3. Integrate AI intentionally, using frameworks like the nested framework, starting small and scaling thoughtfully.
4. Keep the students central with approaches like the AIH framework, human inquiry, AI augmentation, human reflection.
5. Tackle ethical challenges with curiosity and dialogue, not panic. Use missteps as teachable moments.
6. Remember, AI supports teachers by handling logistics, freeing humans for empathy, judgment, and connection.
And 7. Foster lifelong learning habits, as AI can personalize growth way beyond the classroom walls.
Fantastic summary. Now, for that final thought to chew on, Professor Rene Corbeil offered a glimpse into the future, a vision for 2040.
Yeah, it's quite provocative. He envisions a future where AI handles almost all the heavy lifting of personalization, content delivery, assessment logistics, freeing educators entirely.
Freeing them for what?
To focus exclusively on empathy, mentorship, deep human connection, fostering creativity, the things AI can't do.
Wow. Okay, so here's the question we want to leave you with. If AI takes over all that personalization and logistical work in the future, what is the single most important human skill? Maybe it's empathy, maybe critical judgment, maybe communication that you want to master to truly thrive, to make the biggest impact in that classroom of 2040.
We hope this has given you plenty to think about and explore further.
We'll catch you next time.
What a powerful discussion on reimagining teaching and learning in the era of AI. Thank you, Andy and Liz, for breaking down how technology and human insight can work together to create smarter, more balanced classrooms. If you'd like to explore more, read the full interview, Teaching and Learning in the Age of AI, Critical Minds, Smart Tech, in EduVerse Newsletter. Issue 21, our special edition, AI and Us, the New Harmony in Education. Visit our website to download the full issue at www.proed.com.vn/eduverse. And remember, your voice matters too. If you have an idea, story, or practice to share, we'd love to hear from you. Together, let's continue shaping education for a smarter, more connected future. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time on the EduVerse PD podcast, brought to you by ProEd Education Solutions.